Hey guys, how's it going? The Confused Christian coming in with another video. Today I want to talk about things in here, okay, that make you stop and just say, my Bible says what? Because there are plenty of verses in here that'll do just that. You just got to find them. And the problem with today with mainstream Christianity is no one really wants to open this thing anymore. I mean, after all, you got Pastor John or Pastor Dave or Pastor whoever up there giving great sermons. You know, why do we need these things? But the problem is, Pastor John, Pastor Dave, Pastor whoever, they do not want to talk about the scary verses. So I wanted to create a little series where I go through some of the scariest Bible verses, okay? And it's not that I'm trying to scare you, okay? Well, I know I am trying to scare you, okay, but just a little bit, all right? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of fear, all right? It helps stop, you got to check yourself, like, whoa, I didn't know that was in there. Kind of, realize, like, am I really following this the way I'm supposed to? Because who cares if you go to every single one of Pastor John's sermons, but what he's teaching you is wrong, right? So we just got to make sure it's what this says, all right? The one I'm going to use today is actually from Yeshua HaMashiach, right? It is spoken from Jesus Christ. It is Matthew 7, 21 through 23. And yes, it is scary. All right, let's get right into it. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name and do mighty works in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. I told you, scary, right? I don't know about you, but I do not want to be in this category on that day. Okay? Why is this verse not talked about more? Well, I got an idea of why it's not talked about more, because it causes contradictions. Number one, have you guys heard of the, sinner's prayer? Just go ahead and just say this little prayer, and that's it. You're saved. Once saved, always saved. Well, clearly not the case here for these people. You can't tell me that they didn't recognize him. All right, they're shocked. They've even done mighty works in his name, and he's saying, away from me. So the sinner's prayer, once saved, always saved, throw it out the window, in my opinion. It does not hold up, okay? Another problem is faith alone. You just need faith in Jesus Christ. Again, these people have to have faith. These people are casting out demons in his name. I don't know about you, but I've never casted out a demon, nor do I want to cast out a demon. That seems to be pretty scary. But they got the faith to do it. And he is saying, away from me, I never knew you. Huge problem, right? Like I said, scary verse. Just a little scary, right? But let's figure it out. Let's break it down. Let's learn from it. As a group, as a body, let's get together and figure this out, okay? Number one, let's look at what he's saying here. He's saying the people that get into the kingdom of heaven are the ones who do the will of the Father in heaven, right? And if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm pretty big on Torah. Because sin, 1 John 3:4, right? Sin is transgression of the Torah. That is the will of the Father. That is what's been taught in this book since the beginning, all right? And the prophets have been sent out, okay, begging the people to come back to it. All right, nobody wants to do it. It's the same thing, repeating in this book. Even Yeshua coming, living it out perfectly, then telling others to walk like him. So that is the will of the Father. Feel free to disagree with me. Let me know. But to me, clearly the will of the Father is Torah. All right. Now, if you look at this, okay, these people, we all know they recognize Jesus Christ. They've done mighty works in his name. Maybe some of these people are pastors who have built congregations in his name. All right, maybe some of these people have gone, to third world countries and built churches in his name. They've done mighty works in his name, and it's still not good enough, okay? So what are we missing here? He lets us know at the end. He says, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness, okay? These are people, all right, that are breaking what? The Torah. Again, we're going back to the Torah. They are workers of lawlessness. Yes, building a church is a nice thing, but if you're not following his law, if you're not following the Torah, there's issues there. So it's not just, knowing him. Clearly, he has to know you. All right. So do we have an answer for this? And yes, we do. Luckily, this is found in the Bible. Turn with me to 1 John 2, 3 through 6, and it answers it perfectly. All right. And by this we know that we have come to know him, if we keep his commandments. Whoever says, I know him, but does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever keeps his word, in him truly the love of God is perfected. By this we know that we are in him. Whoever says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. Okay, so we have Yeshua pushing people away, even with their mighty works, okay, because they were doing lawlessness. They were not following the Torah. Here, John is saying, if you want to know if you are getting to know him and he is knowing you, you've got to keep his commandments. Again, the Torah, all right? It says, by this we know that we are in him. Whoever says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. How did Yeshua walk? He kept Torah. He taught Torah. He kept Sabbath. He wore tassels. He kept the food laws. Okay? He kept the feasts and festivals. I mean, is this not making sense? This is scary. We have that scary verse, but it's okay because if we look here in the Bible, in 1 John, he is telling us the answer to that problem. All right, you want to get to know him, you want to make sure he knows you, you got to do these things. All right? I used to be really big into sports. All right? I loved watching different athletes. I knew everything about them, the college they went to, their height, their weight, their batting average. I mean, I knew plenty of useless information, but I knew a lot about them. The problem is if we were walking down the street and, that athlete was coming the other way, we were going to, meet there, they would have no idea who I was. The same applies here. Yes, it's great. A lot of Christians know Jesus Christ. They know the miracles he's done. They know what he's done. But he has to know you. All right? And the Bible is telling you how you know if you are building that relationship, okay? You've got to start keeping his commandments. You got to start walking as he did. There's nothing wrong, okay, about going and listening to Pastor John or Pastor Dave or, like I said before, Pastor whoever. All right? But understand this. If they are not keeping Sabbath, if they are not wearing the tassels, if they're not doing the things that Yeshua did, all right? I'm not saying they're wrong about everything, but they do not have the relationship like they think they do. Every Christian that you seem to come across today will tell you that they have an awesome relationship with Jesus. I used to think the same thing, all right? And the funny thing is the people that I meet in this movement, it's like we all got checked. We all just said, whoa, wait, actually, my relationship is not as good as I thought it was. I mean, I went backwards, actually. I was up here. Me and Jesus were tight. We were like this, And now, once I found Torah and I found this truth, I fell down here. Now I'm like really at the bottom, working my way up. Trying to get that relationship that the Bible talks about. And many other people in this movement have this same feeling. Because a lot of us come from, mainstream Christianity. We're taught that, hey, just have faith. Everything's good. Go to church on Sunday. And, pray every night. Wow, if you're praying every night, you're really like this. That's amazing. Not the case, And now that I'm building this relationship up, I feel a huge difference. And it's going to take time. I mean, learning the Torah, understanding his ways, learning to walk like him does not happen overnight. But this scary verse, luckily, was answered by John, okay? So there it is, guys. It's something we need to talk about as a body. We need to come together, share this verse with others, explain to other Christians. It's not meant to be a slap in the face, all right? I don't want anyone saying, hey, you're a liar, because it says you're a liar. But it's that we don't know. I wouldn't say I was a liar in my earlier Christian days. It's just that I didn't know, So we need to understand these verses. We got to start opening this again. We got to start reading this, and not just the back of it, not just the happy little verses in there that talk, that make you feel good. All right. We need to look at the darker verses too, the ones that are kind of harsh, and say, whoa, I want to make sure I'm not in this category. And especially when it comes to the front of the book, especially the first 5 books. All right, the Torah. We need to understand his ways. If we want to follow the Father's commandments, we got to know the Father's commandments, right? So it's time to get started, reading that. But there it is, guys. Feel free, email me, helpconfusedchristian@gmail.com. Leave a comment down below. And as always, go out there and seek the truth with everything you got. I'll catch you guys next time.